numerology and the commutative law of addition. So, of course, the commutative law of addition comes from arithmetic, which can be known as the science of numbers, and numerology is considered by many who practice and are familiar with science as a pseudoscience. That's not the point here right now, but if we're going to be doing some real metaphysics, META as I call it, mathematical, experimental, theoretical, and applied physics, we should know some basics about the first word that founds that acronym META, META, mathematics. And numerology is a fun way to practice that. I'm not going to get into any of the characteristics about numerology, but there are some interesting things that I'll refer to, such as an article or a blog that I published on May 25th of 2013, which, interestingly enough, on that same day, May 25th of 2024, is when I was shown a document that's titled, "This section concerns the burning out the eyes of an extraterrestrial." Yep, 11 years to the day. But let's get into the commutative law of addition and in numerology. So the basics are simply this. Let's just say that your birth date is in the future. I'm just going to use the sequence of numbers. I'm going to use just the regular set of natural numbers, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, right? And so if a birthday is January 2nd in the year 3456, right? So you see what I did there? I just used a set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if that was a person's birthday, then using the commutative law of addition, which means you can add it in any order, we can simply start this way. We can start the January is 1, the 2nd is the 2, right? 1 and 2 is 3. And in the year 3456, right, we just add that 3 to the 3, we get a 6. To the 4, we get a 10. To the 5, we get a 15. And to the 6, we get a 21. And then we can see that 21 in numerology is not where we end, because what is done there is then it is simplified to a single digit, in which case we just add 2 plus 1 and you get 3. And so it would be said in the pseudoscience of numerology that a person's characteristics would be based off of that destiny number, which is 3. And that has characteristics to it. Again, I'm not going to get into that. But if we look at it again, because remember, this is the commutative law of addition. So we're covering two things here. How you would calculate to find out your destiny number in numerology, and I just did it. You just simply add the numbers in your month, day, and year of birth, and then you simplify it or reduce it to a single digit. And in the case with January 2nd, the year 3456, you would get a 21, and 2 and 1 is 3. That's how you calculate your birth date in the pseudoscience of numerology. So commutative law of addition simply means you can add the numbers in any order, and it doesn't matter how you add them up, you'll still get the same thing. So let's just say, for example, we started with the year 3456. 3 and 4 is 7, plus 5 is 12, plus 6 is 18. And that 18, you can add that right now if you want to. 1 and 8 is 9. Okay? So if we take that 9, and then we look at the month and day, which is January 2nd, 9 plus January, right, which is 1, is 10, and then plus the 2nd of January is a 2, which is 12. And look what we have there again. This time we have a 12, which is a 1 and a 2, which, guess what, when you reduce it for purposes of numerology to find out a destiny number, 1 plus 2 is 3, just like we got before with adding them from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? Let's look at how the commutative law of addition works again. You can actually add, let's start with the 1, January, and then the year. So in this case, adding 1, which is January, right, to the year 3456, you'll get the 3457, right? Because 1 plus 3, 4, 5, 6 is 3, 4, 5, 7. So again, we go 3 plus 4, you have a 7, plus a 5 is a 12, and plus that last 7 is makes it a 19. And we could leave that right there in this example. Instead of reducing that 19 to a 10, we can just simply go to the day now, right? Because remember, we already added the first, or the number 1, which is the January, plus the year 3, 4, 5, 6, and we got the number 19, right? Now let's go to the day, which is the 2nd of January. And if you add that 2 to the 19, once again, 19 plus 2 or 2 plus 19, doesn't matter, you still get 21, and again 2 plus 1 is 3. So there's another example of the commutative law of addition there at work. Again, we can look at it this way. We can add the year 3, 4, 5, 6, right? The year 3456 plus the 2nd of January, right, which is a 2. So the 3, 4, 5, 6 becomes 3, 4, 5, 8. Again, 3 and 4 is 7. 7 plus 5 is 12, and 12 plus 8 is 20, and we're left with the month, which is a 1, and of course we can see there 20 plus 1 is 21. So there you see how the commutative law of addition works. It doesn't matter what order you add the numbers in, or how you jumble them or mix them about, it's going to be the same thing. I'll give one more example and show this way. If we add the month and the day, January 2nd, which is 1 and 2, you get a 3. And then if we separate the year, 3, 4, 5, 6, and add that all together, and then reduce it, here's what happens. Again, 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 5 is 12, plus 6 is 18. 18 is a 1 and an 8, which reduced in the Pseudoscience of Numerology. 1 and 8 is a 9. And so then you have that 9, plus you have the month and day, which is 1 and 2, which is a 3, right? 3 plus 9, or 9 plus 3, again, you have a 12. And that 12 is a 1 plus 2 reduced in numerology, and you get a 3 again. So again, just wrapping it up, what did we do here? We talked about numerology and the commutative law of addition. Because you can consider arithmetic, which is adding and subtracting, to be the science of numbers, and many people who deal in science consider numerology to be a pseudoscience, but that's neither here or there. We just demonstrated a fun way that you can use numerology if you want to play around and become a little bit better at your basic arithmetic, and you can be a scientist with numbers. That is numerology and the commutative law of addition. Next, I will probably be posting about the blog, which is called Gray Area 51 Shades of Aliens, the numerology code of Area 51. And it's very, very interesting because it is a very gray area indeed.